Arkansas football begins in 53 days.
I think this is where the biggest improvement for Arkansas is going to be is on the offensive line. In years past, the last couple of years, they've been trying to cover a weakness. He says there's no weaknesses to cover in this year's offensive line. I think we're going to see the best version of Jalen Green this year. You got to love a guy that's 6'6", 230, can hurt you with the legs, is accurate, and it can hurt you with his arm. I think you're going to see a lot more balance out of the Arkansas wide receivers this year than you had last year when Andrew Armstrong hauled in the majority of the catches. So they've got the athletes up front. Now, Coach Pittman told me they felt pretty darn good about the defensive line after the spring. The big question mark he had was, will they be able to get to the quarterback? And that's going to be the key to me.
Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
All right, so you might be wondering why you're listening to Toby Keith's song as we welcome you into a Tuesday edition of The Morning Rush this morning. Well, unfortunately, Toby Keith passed away a year ago today, would have been 63 years old today.
Has it been a year already?
Been a year.
I remember we spent a day playing his music right after that had happened. Golly. And I you go to the Darriette in Mount Ida. He stopped there a lot. There's several pictures of him there because he was into the horse racing. He'd drive through there and stop because he'd go to Oaklawn a lot. So, man, that's terribly sad news to remember. I mean, obviously it happened a year ago, but still listen to his music every day.
You've talked about a few times already how quickly the year's flown by. We're halfway through. Summer has flown by as well already. And then sometimes, unfortunately, when you think about some recent deaths, not just Arkansas Razorback ones, but some national, some artists and whatever, it doesn't really seem like that he's been gone a year. But as I woke up this morning and was kind of looking at it, I mean, his birthday, and it's one of those things where, again, he would have been 63 years old today. I need to rephrase that. He would have been 63 years old. It hadn't been a year, but it's crazy that the impact that he had on country music and the music industry as a whole.
Yeah, that's had quite the impact. Don't Let the Old Man In. One of those great songs from a Clint Eastwood movie. I think it's from The Mule that he sang that got played a lot after his passing.
Passed away in February.
Yeah. So what happened with the weather this morning? Like, the radar was clear, and then all of a sudden, for a lot of us listening, depending on where you're at, I mean, like a lightning storm and severe thunderstorm just boom everywhere. Did anyone else get some? I know you guys got some of this morning, but out of nowhere, in the River Valley at least, just a heavy downpour of rain this morning.
Yep. Our electricity went out here in the studio. Kind of startled me. Colton and I were here, and just...
I was sitting in the parking lot because I was too soft to get out of the parking lot in this thunderstorm and run in. I sat out in my car 25 minutes before I came in.
So I got to ask, I did hear you say that. I mean, it was, I know the rain maybe subsided a little bit, but I mean, it's not like it's a 100-yard walk to the car.
No, but my backpack was in the back of the car with my computer. So if I came in, I couldn't get any work done. So
I checked the radar. There was no rain.
And you looked at the radar, there was like nothing. I'm like, I didn't take a raincoat, nothing.
The heavens opened up.
I mean, anyway. So hopefully everybody's dry and safe inside this morning.
It is crazy how things, like, maybe there's times where there's predictions of really heavy inclement weather and it doesn't happen, and then it doesn't seem like that much is going to happen, and all of a sudden the floodgates open. Yeah. Just weather here in Arkansas across our state, and like you said, we're hoping everyone's safe this morning as we get rolling here on Tuesday.
All right, that's where we begin. We're going to get to our first Pradco Pyramid of Power for football season coming up in just a bit. Bruce Stanton's going to stop in for a visit on that. We'll do all of that coming up in just a minute. If you are traveling right now, or like us, we're planning to be in Atlanta next week for SEC Football Media Days. Need to take along the Hit That Line Now app. It's powered by Taco Bell. Whether you're craving something cheesy, saucy, or crunchy, Taco Bell has you covered. The Hit That Line Now app, powered By Taco Bell.
RD just texted me here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. He knows Danny Caldwell, who's a good friend of Toby Keith. They own horses together, and he's a business partner, and said that they had a good relationship. It is cool, and I know he spent a good chunk of time not only in Hot Springs but in Fort Smith. There's different vigils isn't the right word, but I always think it's cool when a particular artist or a particular movie star, football player, you name it, like they spend time at a local watering hole, a place that you wouldn't necessarily customarily expect. Like I think about, so my brother in Dallas, there's a place called Inwood Tavern.
Okay.
Scotty Scheffler went there right after he won the Green Jacket on like a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night. There was no one in there, and he took a picture with either one of the owners or one of the employees. But like going to a place that's not. I don't know. A lot of people have had the Darriette, for example, on trips back from Lake Hamilton or Lake Washita or Oaklawn, like you're talking about. But some of these more secluded, hole-in-the-wall places that a particular person of great prominence, great wealth, or whatever still spends time at and whatever.
I have people tell me all the time at Papa's on Thursday night when they see you there, they have the same similar emotion and feeling.
I would not.
God, I'm sharing the same row of bar stools with Ty Richardson.
I would not connect.
Holy smokes, is my life now complete.
Okay, so as we bring in Toby Keith, and I mentioned this last year, Arkansas doesn't play in Norman this year. They'll play either in 2026 or 2027. But one of the cool things after his passing that Oklahoma is now doing is at the end of the third quarter, they are playing a Toby Keith song. There's different, if you go across, like, you think about the different stadiums on Baton Rouge and LSU, for example, Tom Petty in Gainesville, Sweet Home Alabama and Tuscaloosa. Like there's different names. And I would think like third quarter, that's what Arkansas needs to play. Is that just the easy answer? They just need to play that after.
They use that. I don't know. They have a standard benchmark.
I would think that like across the SEC and across college football, there's a lot of songs that are kind of custom to that particular stadium, that venue, that fan base.
It's a fairly new track from Stapleton. Crank that back up a little bit, Colt. The problem with Chris Stapleton's song there is it's not really a sing-along. All these other ones, Sweet Caroline, that's a sing-along song. Got to get down to Arkansas. It's not really that'll get stadium jack, but it's not a sing-along song.
And yet, it has to be a balance.
Dixieland Delight, sing-along song.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. Like, if you watch that in Tuscaloosa for the first time, it is, swag, but Auburn, for example, they're using a new age. Colton knows this. The swag surfing song. I don't know if that's necessarily a sing-along. Like, the students know it, but the rest of the stadium actually gets into it. So it's like a balance of the two. So I would think that, is there another one that I'm missing? That Arkansas
Enter Sandman's at Virginia Tech, but that's not really a sing along. That's a get the stadium
jump
jacked
arounds
up.
in Madison.
Terrify your opponent.
Yeah, but I don't know. Without copycat, there's only so many sing along songs
that you can
to begin with.
I'm just always
that's
looking.
Why those others work. When I went to the game at Fenway a month or so ago, why was that so good? Because the sing along. Hang on here, we're having a little technical difficulty. The sing-along part of Sweet Caroline at the end of the seventh inning is pretty cool. In the eighth, I guess it was. So, there's only so many of those songs out there. So,
It's not going out over the air, by the way. So you can keep talking.
You can keep talking. Anyway, we got some noise in our ears we're trying to figure out here. I think that lightning strike might have gotten to something in our phone system. But anyway. So, but yeah, it'd be cool to have some kind of song or tradition or standard that you could put in. Arkansas would be a good one to start with, but it's not really a sing-along song.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk with Bruce Stan about this. We'll see if we can get to him. Like you said, the lightning strike might have messed up our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. But for now, we discussed something that was announced yesterday here in our opening drive.
Court, someone's got to put it up. Jay Will for the baseline. Jay Williams just in front of the shot clock, backs it down. A lot of heat on that pass. Joe, he is not going to pass to the three. Joe got enough for 100. He trained to it from deep.
Fort Smith is home, will always be home. Born and raised. Fort Smith was so good to me that I didn't really want to get away when I went to college, so I just went right up the road. All the connections and the people that I made growing up, shaped me into the person and the player that I am today. Wouldn't be here.
The Thunder have taken the NBA by storm. For the first time, the NBA champion resides in Oklahoma City. The Storybook season is complete.
This is the opening drive.
All right, so Thunder in the Fort. It's going to be a hometown celebration with Jalen Williams and Isaiah Joe, which is Thursday, July 24th. Don't have an event scheduled just yet for you, but thunderinthefort.com is where you can get information about that. I had wondered, and I just assume, I know they both have camps coming up, but I would think that two guys from hometown, high school, we've talked about that. Literally, we found one other tandem in the history of the NBA that were high school teammates, and it was like a little blip between Tristan Thompson and LeBron James. So it's the rarest of things to happen. But this I saw,
and they were only high school teammates for what, a year at Northside?
Jalen, Isaiah, and I think that was if I remember right,
sophomore and freshman years.
I think if Burnett told the story, if I remember him telling the story right, it was the year that they got runner-up in the state championship against Moses and North Little Rock. But that's coming up. It
would have been Isaiah's senior year and Jalen's sophomore year, right? Or I got that backwards.
I think that's right. Yeah, because Jalen's younger. But so not this Thursday or next Thursday, but the following Thursday again. Just in like 2.5 weeks, they're going to have this in downtown Fort Smith, which is cool for them, cool for their families, and cool for Arkansas getting to celebrate two guys that were a big part of the Oklahoma City Thunder season and the championship, the first one that's been in Oklahoma City.
And listen, I'm glad it's open to everybody, but feels like that should be at Condart Fieldhouse, which still stands across the street from the new arena. And if that didn't hold it, you could move it to the new arena. But feels like a celebration like that should be where they cut their teeth.
Well, let's ask our buddy Bruce Dan of Pradco Fishing. Bruce, I'm sure you saw this news. What were your initial reactions to seeing this happen here in about 2.5 weeks?
I think that's the type of kids they are. I mean, they love Fort Smith. They grew up here. They want to keep giving back to the community. Their families are here, and not a surprise at all. I do agree with Tommy that Condart Grizzly Fieldhouse, even though they don't play anymore in that arena,
that's where they play.
Perfect place.
That's where they play.
Let me ask you, would it be able to hold the amount of people that are expected to attend?
It wouldn't.
That's
but
what I was
for old people like me and Tommy are nostalgic, so we kind of like old stuff like that.
But you know what?
Yeah, they probably should go to the football field, and they could probably pack that out, if they advertised it right.
Right, and I know someone that could help them with that if they need some help with that. But you know what makes an event special and memorable? A full room, a full house. So even have a little pinned up demand. Hey, there's only room for so many in there. I don't know what that gym seats, but probably 3,500, 4,000 somewhere in there. So anyway, so. Bruce, what's happening this morning? You on the water, or are you product testing this morning?
No, I'm actually in the office. We've got our year in, so we're closing our fiscal year. We've got New Year started, so it's kind of an odd time to do it in the fishing business, but that's what our parent company EBSCO does in Birmingham. So we closed the books June 30th and started New Year July 1st, so we're going through that closing process right now. A
lot like college athletics did the same thing. All right, we're 52 days away from the Razorbacks. 53? That's 52. 53 days. 53 days from Razorback football, and it's time for our first edition of the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Who were the best quarterbacks in the SEC? Let's find out.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
This is the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
All right, so what we're going to do is just look at some different things each week. We're going to start with quarterbacks this week. We'll do head coaches. We'll do wide receivers. We'll do running backs. We'll do linebackers. Kind of entertain us and get us through the summer. So we're going to look at what we believe, Bruce and I believe, each of our own list, the best 6 quarterbacks in the SEC headed in to the 2025 campaign. I'll start off, Bruce. I think we probably will agree at the top. I think most people do. Garrett Nussmeier, LSU's quarterback, who led the SEC in passing yards with 4,052 yards and 29 touchdowns in 2024. Just the numbers speak for themselves. He did have 12 interceptions last year that he's got to clean up, but I find it hard to place anybody ahead of Garrett Nussmeier as the top quarterback this year headed into 2025.
Yeah, I mean, it may or may not turn out that way, but going into the season, he has the gaudiest stats. I think the impressive thing, he's not a running quarterback. He was only sacked 16 times last year, which, Arkansas's quarterback was sacked twice that much, and he's a running quarterback. So Nussmeier did get rid of the ball sometimes to the wrong team, but he didn't take a lot of sacks, and with 4,000 yards, I agree with you, number one.
Arch Manning, number 2, and I'm not really comfortable with this, but I think that's where we're at just because we have so little information with him on the field, but he's the preseason favorite behind Nussmeier. Often, people want to compare him to Tim Tebow. I think that's premature, but we even have Phil Steele on, and we were talking about Arch Manning. Under 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and very limited action last year. Now he's going to be the full-time starter. I've got Arch Manning at number 2.
Well, if you're going to project the SEC quarterback to be truly elite and a high draft pick in the NFL, it would be Arch Manning. He's 6'4". He has the name, the stature, the pedigree, but they're going to give him the keys. Can he drive the car to the college football playoff again? That's the question.
Lenore Sellers, South Carolina. We're going to start getting in some names that maybe aren't as household as the first two here now, but dual threat guy. Good runner, good passer, over 2,500 yards last year, 18 touchdowns, ran for just under 700 yards and 7 touchdowns on the ground. I think he's a really good, pocket quarterback, but can scramble when it breaks down. Lenore Sellers, South Carolina. I've got him number 3.
Well, I got him in my list, and I'm probably going to rank this guy a little higher than you. Obviously I am. I've got him at number 3, but Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt. He's undefeated against Alabama in the NCAA. So took the Commodores to a bowl game last year, won that 6th year of eligibility. 2,293 yards, 20 touchdowns, only 4 picks, and he ran for 800 yards and 8 touchdowns. Leaves it all on the field. He's a winner, and the kid was the Alabama state champion last year, beat Alabama and Auburn.
There you go. I got Marcel Reed next on the list with Texas A&M. 15 touchdowns, extremely athletic, only had 6 interceptions during 8 starts last year. So I think he's poised for a breakout year. I've got Marcel Reed at number 4 on my list.
Well, I guess I'm going to be the one to homer up for you. I got Taylor Green at number 4 from Arkansas. He was good enough to beat Tennessee last year. He did struggle at times, was sacked 32 times, but threw for 3,154 yards, 15 TDs, 9 interceptions. Probably would like to see some more TDs and fewer interceptions, fewer sacks, but also rushed 156 times for 602 and 8. And, I guess we're going to see what the receiver room looks like. But I got Taylor Green at number 4.
I got Taylor Green at number 5 in the league. So we I don't know, we flip-flopped there, but got him in the same spot, all the stats. My question a little bit with him, second year with Bobby Petrino, unproven offensive line that we believe will be better, but we've sat here every summer for the last 3 or 4 years and believed the offensive line was going to be better. With 3 new starters, a little uncertain about that. Maybe I'm just too close to it, but because we pay such close attention to Arkansas. But I've got him at number 5, and some of that's just based on what's around him and the unknown and the question marks and the unknowns at wide receiver and even at running back.
Yeah, so I got Lenore Sellers at 5. I think you had him at 3. Mm-hmm. You've already said his stats. Dual threat quarterback. Green probably a little better with passing yardage, but he did have fewer interceptions and more touchdowns.
All right, and then I rounded my list out with DJ Lagway from Florida. Had a good freshman season, just under 2,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, completed 60% of his passes. Prototype modern SEC style quarterback. And it's I don't want to do or die year for Napier, but it's a big year for Napier, and Lagway needs to play well to keep the head coach in a solid place there in Gainesville.
Yeah, totally agree with you. I got Lagway in his sophomore season probably deciding the fate of Napier. I think Gator Nation's been patient, but I think they're going to have to put up more than 5 or 6 wins for him to keep going. But Lagway, he looks the part. He was impressive in several games, including the Tennessee game as a freshman last year, even though they lost that one. But, I think he'll have a good year.
So I got Garrett Nussmeyer from LSU, Arch Manning from Texas, Lenora Sellers from South Carolina, Marcel Reed from Texas A&M, Taylon Green from Arkansas, and DJ Lagway from Florida. My 1 through 6. Go through yours, Bruce, and then we'll let Ty tell us where we got it right and where we're wrong.
Yeah, I agreed with you on Nussmeyer and Manning at 1 and 2. I did go with Pavia. He's not going to play in the NFL, but he's a winner in college. Anybody can go to a bowl game at Vanderbilt and win it. I got him at number 3, Taylon Green at number 4, Sellers at number 5, and DJ Lagway at number 6.
All right, where are we right, where are we wrong?
You guys are right on Nussmeyer. I would have Sellers at 2, put him a little higher. Depends on that offensive line. Lagway, I think you guys both have him too low. I got him at 3. Pavio, however you say his name, Bruce, he's fantastic. The fact that he's playing for Vanderbilt again at least gives them a chance to go to a higher bowl. So I got him at 4. Arch at 5, and then Taylor at 6. I mean, we just haven't seen. Listen,
no, that's fair.
He's got I know we just had Archie Manning on about 2 weeks ago, and he was great. He was kind enough to give us some time, but like we saw a little bit. I mean, go watch the Georgia game last year. When he actually went up against the lead SEC competition, he did not look good. And I'm not saying that you're going to play Georgia every Saturday, but and I got Taylor at 6. I wanted to put Taylor above Arch, but I got to see it before I end up doing that.
All right, that's our Pradco Pyramid of Power. Real quick, Bruce, what's working right now on the water?
Well, you got to take advantage of the situation. Obviously, we got thunderstorms today. Water's going to be rising again. Takes out pretty much all the small creeks and small lakes for a couple of days. You got to go to places like Dardanelle and Kerr, Tenkiller, where there's vegetation in the water. Throw a booyah pad crasher or a popping pad crasher on a 60 or 80 pound braid and, get in that junk, and the bass are in that junk right now. One curveball, one of our customer service reps, Stephen Biggerstaff, has been catching walleye up at Lake Fort Smith on a Bandit 300. So if you feel like fishing a little clearer water and want to fish a good local lake with a population of walleye, the Game and Fish Commission has been stocking it since 2013. You might hook onto a 6-pounder like he did last week.
All right, so find all your favorite things in your tackle box or that need to be in your tackle box at lurenet.com. That's lurenet.com, and all U.S. orders over $35 get free shipping as well. You can also find them at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, and your local tackle shops as well. Bruce, stay dry in the thunderstorms today. Good luck with them books, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday. We'll be at the Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta.
There you go. Hey, are we ranking radio hosts next week or running backs or what?
I don't want to be dead.
Running backs that are radio hosts. We'll do that next week.
All right. See y'all.
See you.
All right, when we come back, Hog Update, John Calipari is hosting an open practice for the media tomorrow. Really excited about that. Get a chance to see some recent additions, including some freshman phenoms like Darius Acup, Malik Thomas, and then also Arkansas's own Isaiah Seeley. So really excited about that. We got a lot to get to here as we continue on the Morning Rush. Stay with us, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com.
Need a new fence but not ready to pay all at once? The Fence Man, serving Fort Smith for over 40 years, offers 18-month financing so you can secure your home or office now and pay over time. Free quotes, custom designs, and the expertise to accomplish what most can't. 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
I am going to have fun.
This is the Morning Rush.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit. Split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
The summer sales drive continues at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, save up to $6,000 off retail value on your next road-ready certified pre-owned vehicle, reconditioned and backed by limited warranty. We've got you covered for your service needs as well, with half-off brakes and special financing available for those larger repairs. With our live market painless pricing and non-commissioned sales staff, we're committed to taking the hassle out of buying a quality pre-owned vehicle in the River Valley. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. With an unheard of 15-year spring warranty option, Grit is the team you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR.
Like life, vacations don't always go as planned. If your summer getaway turned into a summer tow-away, don't hire an attorney you don't know from a state you'll never go back to. Hire me, Jackie Mock. I'm licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma, but I can process wreck checks no matter where you crashed. Call 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, a wreck check sounds nice.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
Along the Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those.
107 down.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
Everybody move big Suey. This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
I'm going to go to October 25th, that game against Auburn. I think they got to take care of business at home, hold serve there, get the win. Auburn is a much improved team this year, but I think Arkansas has got the capability. They won at Auburn last year. That's one of those games that they've got to come up and get the win on.
It's one of the voices of college football, Phil Steele, who joined us yesterday talking about on October 25th how crucial that Auburn game is at home in Razorback Stadium for the Arkansas Razorbacks. And you look at, again, that stretch. They've got Tennessee 2 weeks before Knoxville. The week before, they'll play A&M in Fayetteville for the first time since 2013. He had mentioned how close Auburn was a few times last season. They've got a new quarterback in Jackson Arnold. Hugh Freeze going on year 3. They've come into Fayetteville and kicked your tail before, so that's one you're hoping you can get. But
Did you see Lane Kiffin's post on Twitter yesterday congratulating Hugh Freeze?
Yeah, we talked about that.
And there was another one yesterday I saw where about the the Ryder Cup challenge between two clubs. I mean, it just Lane Kiffin went in on it yesterday. It just awesome. He
stirs the pot.
Huge year for Hugh Freeze, and it It's not a good look
It's
right now.
hottest seed in the SEC. We talked about this a little bit. Pittman's probably in that top five. You think about Stoops. You think about Billy Napier at Florida. Bruce was talking about that a little bit earlier. Venables at Oklahoma. But yes, Hugh Freeze, I don't think there's any question that he is dead at the top. He's top of the list, no question.
And Auburn will do crazy things, crazy fans. I don't know the particulars of Hugh Freeze's contract and his buyout, but you got to wonder, as we've crossed this threshold into revenue sharing on July 1, how quick are schools going to be to oust a coach when you've got all these budget cuts and all these financial issues going on?
Mm-hmm. I think for Auburn, who has had to pay buyouts to Brian Harsin and Gus Malzahn and others, I mean, it is characterized as one of the craziest fan base, and I'll give them credit. That football program, when it's humming, it's going. Like they whether it's Cam Newton, they had that stint with Nick Marshall earlier, which would have been, I guess, my freshman year of college back in 2013. Bo Jackson, of course, but they're always going to play second fiddle to Alabama in that state, and at least you don't have to deal with that if you're an Arkansas fan. All right, continuing on our Hog update. Due Theroux signed a contract according to USA Today. Excited for him. Slightly under $6 million, so congratulations to Due Theroux. Arkansas basketball has another non-conference game that is reportedly scheduled. Bracketeer.org. We've had Rocco Miller on this program before. Southern University, the Jaguars, are coming in here early November, according to his report. You got several of these high-profile non-conference schedules. I know you're excited about this season, and that should be another one. I know you're also excited to hear more about this basketball team and what they've got in store.
I'll probably go to my Dunkin' Donuts with my boys.
Well, the good thing is, and Colton, I know you haven't told me this, are you planning on, I've got meetings tomorrow. Are you planning on going to this tomorrow?
I saw that they released that they were going to have a media scrum, after a practice on Wednesday, and I was like, oh, I hope I, actually get to go to this selfishly, and you sent me an email asking me if I can go, and I'm definitely planning to go because I want to hear from Coach about all the new players and the plan for next year because this team excites me.
Yep, little practice tomorrow. They're going to have media, as Colton said, with Cal and some players after, talking about what's going on in summer workouts, the upcoming team, and also Due Theroux and some other guys that are trying to make NBA rosters as well, like John L. Davis. That's tomorrow, and just kind of an exciting first look, glimpse of what this team has in store for this upcoming season, Tommy.
A rare peek behind the curtain with John Calipari. You don't get many of those looks unless you're a big donor or something, get to watch practice, but a rare hour plus to watch practice and then talk to John Calipari, who, does most of his media, but this is the first coach ever that doesn't do every press conference. That will send, his chief lieutenants in to talk to the media. So, take advantage when Cal gives you a look behind the curtain at what's going on.
All right, that is your Hog Update here on a Tuesday. Hog Update always brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
It's Be a Kid Day again. What's the thing you miss about being a kid? It's also National Freezer Pop Day, which I know kids enjoy freezer pops, and Ice Cream Sundae Day.
Today, if you were wanted to be a kid, you go out and jump in a mud puddle, on the. That's a good one because it has been pouring down rain in western Arkansas. So jumping in a puddle would be the most kid thing you could do today.
Let's ask our friend David Rath of Rath Mitsubishi. David, what do you miss about being a kid?
Now that I have kids of my own, most of the stuff that I dug as a kid we're kind of doing again. So it's kind of a hard one to answer. But probably hanging out with my best friend, my best buddy growing up. He lives out in El Paso now, so we don't get to see each other much. So I'd probably say that.
I think, those friendships that you form early on in the early stages of your life, if you're still friends with them to the day, that goes to
rare.
It's the bonds that you develop when you're a kid. So I think that's I think that's a good. I like the puddle idea. I think that's a good idea.
Apropos today.
I'll go jump into that during the break. David, speaking of the inclement weather, I know that we had hail recently in Northwest Arkansas. You guys still have your hail sale going on, new cars. We got clearance specials, plus like a $2,000 rebate and some great financing for 60 months as well.
Yeah, man. We have just a small handful left of the pre-owned cars on the hail sale. Those cars that were affected and they've been repaired, but you're still going to save money there. And we've got a few of the new cars that are that way too. So, we're trying to do kind of a little bit of a clearance thing on that. Save some money on those. We got some finance specials on them as well. The new 25 Outlanders, we're getting those in very regularly. Again, finally, tariff stuff's kind of calming down, so they're shipping stuff out. And they're putting incentives on those. So, we're getting rates as low as $299 for 60 months with approved credit, or everybody qualifies for a $2,000 rebate on them if you don't want to take the rate offer. So we got some great stuff going on both sides there. So we've really good chance to save money either way you want to go.
Both sides of the tunnel as well. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and Rath Mitsubishi, where David is right now as well. David, get through this weather, man. Hopefully we'll get a little rain the rest of the week, but no hail or anything like that. I know we're kind of sick of all that stuff.
I'm ready for it to calm down. Yeah.
All right, David. Well, go enjoy BK. Hit your boy up in El Paso. See what he's doing these days.
We send memes back and forth all day, every day.
That sounds like my friend group. All right, David. Talk soon, buddy.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Hi, that's David Rath of Rath Mitsubishi. When we come back, Morning Rush Daily Question as we continue on here on the Morning Rush.
Roback's got the gear for your perfect summer day. Shop polos, hoodies, Q-tips, and much more in the American Summer Collection at Roback.com.
Roback made finding the perfect pair of pants or shorts much easier. They're a clean fit with comfortable premium fabric. They look great on and off the golf course. So shop at Roback.com for the Delta pants and shorts.
You're going to get 20% off your first order. Just use the code RUSH25 at Roback.com.
Looking for a big new game to play? Well, there's no game bigger than the new dino-sized Jurassic World scratch-off games from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, which gives you a chance to win up to $200,000 instantly. And if that weren't enough, you can enter for a chance to win an exciting trip to beautiful Hawaii, where you could win up to $1 million. So get down to your local lottery retailer today, and welcome to Jurassic World. Must be 18 or older to play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
He never had a hog on his helmet. This is the Morning Rush.
The summer sales drive continues at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, save up to $6,000 off retail value on your next road-ready certified pre-owned vehicle, reconditioned and backed by limited warranty. We've got you covered for your service needs as well, with half-off brakes and special financing available for those larger repairs. With our live market painless pricing and non-commissioned sales staff, we're committed to taking the hassle out of buying a quality pre-owned vehicle in the River Valley. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit. Split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Like life, vacations don't always go as planned. If your summer getaway turned into a summer tow-away, don't hire an attorney you don't know from a state you'll never go back to. Hire me, Jackie Mock. I'm licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma, but I can process wreck checks no matter where you crashed. Call 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, a wreck check sounds nice.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself.
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Destiny is a matter of choice, and dinner is a matter of how much Taco Bell you want. Good thing you can choose from the $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes to match what you're craving. What does your destiny hold? The classics for $5, the faves for $7, or a feast for $9 featuring the new crispy chicken burrito? Oh, why is Destiny holding them all? Someone help her. Choose your Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV with hands-free driving assistance and go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $900 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Time for the Carpat Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
So we've mentioned a couple of times in the show already that John Calipari is inviting the media to come watch a little over an hour of practice tomorrow afternoon. What are your questions? Out there, text us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline or call us at 877-377-6963. If you're in there and you're looking behind the curtain in a practice in July, I think that's also important. It's July. What do you want to see? What are your curiosities right now about this basketball team, Ty?
I think, do they have a little more shooting? I know that hindered them at time last season. I'm talking about a team that made it all the way to the Sweet 16, but do you see improvements from some guys shooting the basketball across the board? Do you have wings? Do you have guards? Malik Thomas, Darius Acuff, two of the freshmen, Isaiah Sealy, is Carter, who was actually one of the better and more productive three-point shooters on your roster. Does he improve his game even more? I would expect so based on what we've kind of heard about him in the offseason. So I think that, and then the front court probably – with Malik Ewan and also Nick Pringles. Like, what kind of presence do they feel? Because Arkansas got pounded. I mean, think about the reason you lost the Tech game is because Toppin and is it Thomas, Darian Thomas, Colton, killed you. Just killed you on the glass. So I would say what your front court can do against some of the better front lines in the SEC.
So that's my curiosity is the size. I mean, I don't think – I think we could all go watch practice for an hour and it's going to look, hey, man, they look really good. I mean, I think that's going to be the overall, man, they look athletic. What do they look like physically? I'm not talking about are they cut in shape, the conditioning, what's the dimensions look like? Does this team look like it's got all the pieces to the puzzle? Because you just mentioned it. What were they missing? They were missing a piece to the puzzle against Texas Tech last year. It cost them in an overtime game. What'd you lead? Help my memory here. I'm getting old. 17 points with 6 minutes to go, or something like.
13.
You had the game. You had the cat halfway in the bag, and you let it slip out. And some of that's because, like you said, you got killed on the glass. You gave Tech extra possessions. Have you fixed that piece to the puzzle that was missing? I'm with you. I want to see. Do you have the big bodies that you expect a team to have come late March?
And if you don't have big bodies, do you at least have quality depth? That's where I'm at this year, and that's where kind of what I want to know. He's built a roster now in his second year with a little more freedom to pick and choose who he wants, who's on the team. And so this year, I know he's already said in a couple of bites here and there that, hey, I'm not exactly sure that we're going to be running, a 10, 11, 12-man team, but we do think we have 9 solid guys. So I would like to know who those 9 guys are, and if it's going to end up being more like 7 like it ended up at the end of the season last year.
Yeah, do you have a 10th guy that can play a little bit? But there's a reason he's the 10th guy. But I still don't believe this idea that you're going to run 10 or 11 or 12 guys in most conference games. You're still going to win or lose with your best 8. I believe. And I don't think that's exclusive to Arkansas. That's how the game works. You're going to win or lose based on your best 8. And do you have you have enough of those guys? But you also got to have 10 or 12 guys to have quality practice, quality work, because you can run drill, and listen, drills are important, all that, but how do teams get better? Playing 5-on-5. What do the really good teams do a lot more than they scrimmage? Because there's something about it, Ty, and you understand it pretty well. There's something about just knowing the body language and knowing the reactions and being able to understand what someone's going to do next or anticipate your teammate's next move that only comes through what? Time on the court together. So, I mean, you've got to have 10 guys, 12 guys that you can have those quality practices in order to develop the chemistry you're going to need to make the 5 to 8 players you're going to put out there the most better.
Yeah, just looking at the roster, they got one open spot remaining. I think they're close to finishing up that guy, but we just go down the order. What Trevin Brazil do we see? Do we see the one at the end of last season? Yeah. Is he slow at first? DJ Wagner's in his 3rd year of college basketball. You think about a defensive hound. You think about a toughness factor that he brought. Billy Richmond, you think about Billy in year 2, like Carter's going to be much improved. He's going to look more like a veteran player. We mentioned Carter. We mentioned the front court. What do you get from these freshmen? What do you get from Malik Thomas? What do you get from Darius Acuff? Does Isaiah factor in the rotation? You've heard maybe some good things about him in the offseason. And other guys, Ratal, Drosovic, Semendo, not even probably the same as Carl Retta. Those are 4 guys that aren't playing, probably, most likely.
Well, but do they fill a gap? Can you put them in for 3 minutes or 2 minutes ahead of a media timeout and get what you need to give someone that's in foul trouble or needs rest for whatever reason, playing through an injury, give them that break, and you don't feel like they're a liability on the floor. They don't let an 8-point lead become a 2-point lead, before you can get to the timeout. So, yeah, you got to have. That's why players 9 through 12 are really important. There's going to be a role for them in limited minutes.
All right, that is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. Hey, they've got something really unique this month in July. So it's Tuesday, right? Every Tuesday in July, bays are just $25 an hour. That's right, just $25 an hour, not per person.
It's like half price, right? Half price Tuesdays. And now that it's a dadgum hot outside most days, do it the air conditioning.
9 to 5, again, at Cart Pass Social, #1 indoor golf destination. You mentioned it being hot. I know we've got some weather, even like in a day like this where you got weather, different pockets across our state that are affected. You wanted to play golf. Well, you can do that at Cart Pass Social. Never affected by weather. You don't just get to play one course. You can play over 1,000 different courses. Don't have to wear golf attire. You got corporate, business events. There's so many different businesses that we have in Northwest Arkansas. Take advantage of a locally owned golf facility. 2 Rogers boys, Christian Olson, Nate Gearhan, 122 Grant Place in Lowell is the location of Cart Pass Social. It's always BYOB at Cart Pass Social. So I have some news to share this morning. You ready?
Oh,
okay.
All right.
Do you remember what that's from?
Jerry Springer, it sounded like. Jerry. Yeah.
Close. Jerry Jones, when he was on Bourbon Street prior to the New Orleans Saints playing the Dallas Cowboys, I think.
I didn't think it was Seinfeld.
No. Close enough. So we have
but the original Jerry chant was Jerry Springer.
And, okay, I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I do have an appreciation for what Jerry Jones has built and contributed, obviously, on campus in a variety of different ways in the University of Arkansas. Thus, when the documentary came out, or is coming out, I should say, in the end of August next month, which he's, of course, going to be a part of, Jimmy Johnson, Troy Aikman, Emmett Smith, Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders, all those guys are going to be included. I was like, okay, how do we get him on the show? So we have been, this is from Tad Carpenter, who's the senior VP of the Dallas Cowboys. We are on a list to get him on. So, that being said, I am going to do whatever it takes to get him on the show. So I thought to myself, how do we make this more of a comfort zone for Jerry Jones? So I will withdraw myself from the show, allow Clay to co-host with you one day, and just so we can get him on the show. That being said, I will do whatever means necessary to get him on the Morning Rush because I think it would be an awesome interview. Anytime, listen, I don't always agree with the stuff he does from a football standpoint, but I do enjoy listening to him. So I will bow out if needed, if Clay wants to go, since
you just call back down there and lie. Say, hey, my grandmother's got this piece of land that we'd like to sell. It's got this natural gas bubbling up out of the ground. And, if you could come on the radio show, we might be able to show you where that land is and sell it. And then you'd be in, right? Because that's what he loves to do at the end of the day is go drill an oil or a gas well somewhere and make a gazillion dollars on that. So just tell him, hey, I know where this is black gold, Texas tea. It's just bubbling up out of the ground,
And he has
you'll get his attention.
think about at the time where now it seems like, well, that decision to basically put up all the oil and all the different things he had built in his empire over the years seemed like it looks like an awesome idea in 2025, but at the time it was a really risky move, and people were questioning his judgment on why he would fork up all this inventory, all these different things and I don't know every particular, but it's what collateral.
He put it all on the line.
Put it all on the line,
yeah.
And it's obviously paid out.
And he had partners early on. Mm-hmm. There are several people, some I grew up with, whose dads were involved early in the Cowboys. There's some accounting and business people and people that he knew from oil and gas from the Fort Smith area that were involved early and had equity in the club. It wasn't just him early. He was the majority owner, but he sacrificed everything to live out the dream. And, today scraping together $140 million or whatever he paid back in the late 80s. But you stop and think about that. How many years ago is that now? You think about where Jerry was at that point in his life. He's in his mid 40s.
I think
he was putting it all on the line, everything he'd worked for.
I think the biggest question, and like, hey, what was it like to be in Landman? Not that, but that is something that may or may not get asked. I think the biggest question I have
Please
for
don't
him
ask that.
Is it like, obviously he was on the championship team in 1964 and he's won Super Bowls, but as a big time donor, as a guy that obviously has a direct line to Hunter Yurachek in the athletics department, like, what do you actually expect from this football program? I know I'm expecting about a 6-6 team, and I'm hoping I'm wrong. I hope when they go 7-5, 8-4, 9-3, whatever. But like, I actually want to know what his expectations in 2025, which are far different than it was back in 1964 and the teams he was on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where do you actually expect this team to be year after year, especially with everything he's contributed to the athletics department, and obviously he flies into games. Like, what does he actually expect from this team in 2025? So fingers crossed that it happens. At least we are on a list when it comes to the possibility of getting him on.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, like we were, the 48th mid-market, midday sports radio show that we talked about. So at least we could be...
You just made that up, didn't you?
No, I legitimately didn't. Go to Barrett Sports Media. I asked him if we were part of it, and he said, yep. And I said,
yeah.
Okay. I'm
way down the list.
Should have made a plaque, but
plaque.
Didn't get to it in time.
Well, hopefully that effort pays off. Actually, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association years ago honored Jerry Jones as the Arkansan of the Year, and I got to talk to him and do a quick interview with him. That's been, 25 years ago at this point. But
so, pre-Morning Rush.
He was pre-employment here, actually. So it was before I even worked here. I was at my previous job. So always a fun conversation with Jerry Jones. It's Tuesday. That means pork chops are on the special menu today at Art's Barbecue. They're back at it after a holiday weekend. They took Saturday and Sunday and Monday off, and back at it today. 2 big thick pork chops and some sides of your choice. $9.99 today for the lunch special at Art's Barbecue. They're on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, right next to Buddy's. Pork chops for $9.99 plus the full menu, tender brisket, baby back ribs, pulled pork. They've got it all, and even try the kickin' chicken. That's Art's Barbecue, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Going to chat with Tom Murphy when we come back. Hour 2 of the Morning Rush is next.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous young dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Looking for a big new game to play? Well, there's no game bigger than the new dino-sized Jurassic World scratch-off games from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, which gives you a chance to win up to $200,000 instantly. And if that weren't enough, you can enter for a chance to win an exciting trip to beautiful Hawaii, where you could win up to $1 million. So get down to your local lottery retailer today, and welcome to Jurassic World. Must be 18 or older to play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Need a new fence but not ready to pay all at once? The Fence Man, serving Fort Smith for over 40 years, offers 18-month financing so you can secure your home or office now and pay over time. Free quotes, custom designs, and the expertise to accomplish what most can't. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanar.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
Take advantage of this nice weather in Arkansas with our friends at Roback. Gear up for fresh polos, running joggers, and comfortable khaki shorts. Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas licensed collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. So if you're ready to upgrade your comfort game, use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order through the end of this week. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with code RUSH25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
This is the Morning Rush.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself.
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbIrdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at AAABM.com or call us at 471-1771.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price, where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. There's a slight chance of seeing a shower. Thunderstorm high temperatures into the low 90s. Mainly clear, low 70s tonight, and then Thursday, sunshine, low 90s. Friday, we're back to sunny skies and a high in the low to mid 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 53 days.
I think this is where the biggest improvement for Arkansas is going to be is on the offensive line. In years past, the last couple of years, they've been trying to cover a weakness. He says there's no weaknesses to cover in this year's offensive line. I think we're going to see the best version of Jalen Green this year. You got to let a guy that's 6'6", 230, can hurt you with the legs, is accurate, and it can hurt you with his arm. I think you're going to see a lot more balance out of the Arkansas wide receivers this year than you had last year when Andrew Armstrong hauled in the majority of the catches. So they've got the athletes up front. Now, Coach Pittman told me they felt pretty darn good about the defensive line after the spring. The big question mark he had was, will they be able to get to the quarterback? And that's going to be the key to me.
Studios. This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
It's crazy that Toby Keith would have been 63 today. Gone too soon, passed away in February. Just to kind of wanted to give him some honor this morning as we get it rolling here on a Tuesday edition of The Morning Rush. Hour number 2, Tom Murphy joins us momentarily via the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Got this message earlier. I missed it. From Christopher on our YouTube channel. He's just been a new father, Tommy, on June the 14th.
Congratulations.
And his wife told him he can go to a game this fall, just one, and he's thinking the Notre Dame or Texas A&M game. Which do you prefer? Now, Colton added he should go to the Mississippi State game because that's going to be a win. But given the choice between Texas A&M and Notre Dame, I think it's pretty easy. If you got a ticket, you go to the Notre Dame game, right?
Well, Notre Dame's probably, in all likelihood, not coming back to your stadium anytime soon. A&M will be back at some point in the near term, in the near future. So I would definitely go to the Notre Dame game just because it's not going to happen again.
Yeah,
that's an opponent you may never see again in person.
I think it's you'll play A&M at home either in 28 or 29. But like you said, I don't know if Notre Dame's going to pop up on the schedule anytime soon. Now, some would say, well, Ty, the Notre Dame game's at 11, and the Texas A&M, if I remember correctly, is a flex, so it's the possibility of a night game. I would still go to the Notre Dame game.
I would go to the Notre Dame game and tell my wife it was a night game.
There you go. Because she's not going to look. She's not going to pay attention.
11 a.m. game gets you back just in time for putting her down for the afternoon nap, so you might.
No, that's not what I was thinking. I'm going to get back in time for you to put me down for a nap because I'm going to need one after being gone all day. But if I was choosing, Chris, choose wisely. But I would probably take that Notre Dame game. Talking about Toby Keith, one of the places he loved to go was Oaklawn. And if you haven't downloaded the Oaklawn Sports app, you need to do that now. Major League Baseball's in full swing. We've got the Open Championship coming up. We've got Live Golf, PGA Tour, WNBA is getting a lot of news play right now. So there's still plenty of sports, plus all the preseason college football and NFL action and lines and over-under totals for wins, all there as well. If you're a new customer, earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Get second chance bets each of your first 10 days, up to $100 per day. There's a 10% profit boost on qualifying three-leg parlays. And putting money into and getting money out of your account has never been easier with Oaklawn Sports debit and credit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo on-site cash, all work with the Oaklawn Sports app. So be sure and do that. Get it now, the Oaklawn Sports app, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with a brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
We mentioned earlier it's National Be a Kid Again Day. That kind of times out well with this next piece of information I'm going to share. In a recent study from Beach.com, 70% of Americans admitting to peeing in the ocean consistently rather than getting out and going to the bathroom. So I asked that question.
For a walk.
Pool, lazy river, lake. Do you ever make it to the actual restroom itself, or?
Oh, only in the ocean. Now, never in the pool. There's always a bathroom close enough at a pool. No, I'm not doing that in the pool. No.
You're telling me you've never peed in your own pool?
No, I've not. Not once.
I have.
7 or 8 years, I have not.
Okay.
Well, that's why I have to put more chlorine and chemicals in it. No, not in the pool. Ocean,
lake,
fair game.
Lake, good with the lake.
Yeah,
Okay.
lake, absolutely.
Okay, but just not pool.
Open bodies of water.
You draw the line at pool.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to put chlorine in it.
Well, that's what it kills.
Chemical in it. No, then I'm out.
Okay. Well, that's. I was just. Are you surprised with that 70% number? Does that seem too high?
70%. I don't know. Probably a little high.
I was kind of surprised.
Bunch of liars is what they are.
You think that you're saying it should be higher?
Yes.
Okay. So you think?
I mean, if you're at the beach and your dad that's drug 19 chairs, folding tables, the tent, the cooler, you've done all the work to set. I'm not schlepping all the way back up there to the condo at Destin and to take a leak. I mean, if I got to do that now, I'm going to cut down on how many beers I'm going to drink. Well, I'm not doing that. I'll just hop out here in the ocean. I'll get out here away from everybody, about 20 feet. And listen, it's a big ocean, Ty. It's a big ocean. So I think the number's higher than 70%, particularly all the dads that have drug all the crap from their third floor condo all the way down to the beach, set everything up, and then here, everybody else just sachets down at their leisure. So no, it's too much work to go back and forth.
JT in Hot Springs also agrees with you here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. He feels like 30%
absolutely
of the people are lying. So when you go on vacation,
most of my crew will just announce, "Hey, I go out here in the ocean. I got pee."
So you like when you take your kiddos on vacation, does Dylan get to bring his console with him?
He did this past. It wasn't really a vacation, but he did this past weekend.
Okay, so you know the significance of the last couple of days and what's happened this week, right? He's probably told you. Has he?
Clue me in here.
Okay, well.
Welcome to Fayetteville, Arkansas, Reynolds Stadium, home of the Razorbacks. And this big crowd has already been serenading their beloved team with Whoa Big Suey.
EA College.
Whoa Big Suey. Thank you, AI.
The contested, very competitive Southeastern Conference. As we're going to see the Arkansas Razorbacks taking on the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Oh,
the biggest opponent.
They've got they had like a red-white game of sorts that they posted yesterday. But a couple coaches are not a part of this, including Bill Belichick, whose name in the game is Hector Luna, and then Deion Sanders is also not a part of it either, which I was kind of surprised at.
How you doing? This is Deion Sanders. Right now, I'm Coach Prime.
Coach Prime is not a part of it. He didn't want to get whatever. It's a small portion of money that they're giving to coaches and players, but his name in the game is Kirkpatrick. So those are the two names that everything else. On this,
it probably isn't enough money, and they don't need the publicity. But if you're Sam Pittman, you want your name on there because, I know how it helps recruiting, but who plays these games? Kids that you hope will eventually play for you. So,
have you seen you haven't seen Sam Pittman's wardrobe in it yet?
Nope. I did see a screenshot of him, and it didn't look anything like him.
Yeah, it didn't. Whoever okayed that for EA needs to be let go, because that was not. And there's some other coaches don't necessarily look exactly.
So you're a proponent of someone makes a mistake, you just fire them immediately.
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay, I'll remember.
Just not when it comes to
10:08
to me and anything else. Yeah, 10:08. Mark the tape. Don't actually delete this hour and everything else. I think Tom's at the beach or something right now. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to talk with him on Thursday. But I wonder when it comes, like, obviously the games itself. We talked about the rankings and everything else this past week with the football program and everything. Like, with the stretch we talked about a little bit earlier on Monday, the Texas A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State, and whatnot, I just wonder from like a depth standpoint. I know what the ratings obviously say on EA Sports, but do you feel like that this year you've added some pieces where you've been dinged up in years past that you're okay? Obviously, the quarterback position, probably not. I'm excited about KJ Jackson at some point, but here not point in time. But I just wonder what position group is the least or the most likely, like you don't want to lose out on a particular star player. Like, where are you the most thin in this roster?
Tell me where there's not a question mark on the offense. What position group? Yeah, any question marks at wide receiver? Of course, we all do. Any questions marks about that offensive line? Of course, we all have questions about that. Quarterback is probably the one place you got the fewest amount of question marks right now.
Mm-hmm. Which
that's not exactly how the recipe needs to go.
Did we homer up with all having Talon inside the top 6?
Well,
you have him at 5. Bruce has him at 4. I have him at 6.
I'm not sure. I mean, he's going to have to prove he's a top 6 quarterback. And that's better than the top half.
Is it almost by default that we're put in there?
You're in the top third if you're at 5,
mm-hmm.
So.
I wonder about that Mateer kid who transferred from was it Washington State to Oklahoma, Colton?
Washington State.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people are high on him, but you're almost putting Talon in that top half by default, which I'm curious again, not just what he has to say next week, but what he actually does this season. If it is because if you're inside the top 6, your offense is probably going to be within the top half as well.
He's only one guy. He's still got to have someone that can catch it. I believe someone will emerge, but we don't know that. We've got to have someone become an Andrew Armstrong, a Tesla, like last year, because those were guys that we had a lot of question marks about going into a couple seasons ago, and last season even. Who's going to emerge? Someone. He can be a great quarterback. Someone's got to catch it. Somebody's got to run it.
Yeah, here's what Phil Steele said specifically about wide receivers.
Yeah, somebody is going to emerge. And, last year, I think if you watched Arkansas football, you knew that Andrew Armstrong was going to get the ball the majority of the time. I don't know if we're going to see that this year. I think it's going to be a lot more balanced. I think they're improved in the slot with both Raylan Sharp and Cameron Shanks in there. Shanks is a guy that's got a lot of speed coming in from UAB. Keep your eyes on Omega Blake, though, also. He's a transfer from Charlotte, was at South Carolina originally, had 795 yards last year. He can catch the football. So I think you're going to see a lot more balance out of the Arkansas wide receivers this year than you had last year when Andrew Armstrong hauled in the majority of the catches.
I know I was initially surprised when Isaac Tesla came off before Andrew Armstrong did. I guess he went to the 3rd round, forget what pick, to the Detroit Lions, and Andrew wasn't even drafted. But again, you lost so many. It's either 5 or 6 or 6 or 7, if I remember the right, pass catchers from last year's team. One of the elements that Petrino did bring in, though, was Sharp, and then also, why am I blanking on Cam Shanks, is the speed element. And I think I had a lot of, I was just wondering when we were going to see more jet sweeps and different bubble screens and various things for Isaiah Satania, who now is an Oklahoma Sooner. I wonder how early, just with so many new faces, and not that you can't go deep with new guys, but how quickly you see some of the screen game, see some of these early things from Bobby Petrino, just to get those guys on the same page in these first couple weeks. Whether, again, Alabama A&M, not worried about that. Arkansas State, hopefully not. But when you go to Oxford week 3, you're really going to see a different football team.
Well,
hopefully.
I think you better be ready. I don't think you're in a position that, hey, let's hold some things back in the first couple of weeks that we don't want to put on film. I don't think this team's in a position to be doing that. So hopefully they got a lot of the playbook at the ready. Hey, it's Taco Tuesday today at Joe's Grill and Cantina. $1 tacos all day today. Thursday will be Throwback Thursday with a rotation of Kuko's classic platters. And, of course, every day Joe's chips and salsa are made fresh veggies that go in the salsa. You can taste the freshness. Plus, their house-made salsa, incredible. It goes right along with their great enchilada sauce that goes on their enchiladas as well. That brown homemade enchilada sauce is incredible. Joe's Grill and Cantina. If you love Tex-Mex, you're going to love Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
So we asked Phil yesterday what he thought was the most important game for Arkansas.
I'm going to go to October 25th, that game against Auburn.
And he expanded on that a little bit. I keep looking at this Ole Miss game where Rebels, they got 18 starters, 18 of their 22 guys. that they have to change out from last season. 8 of those guys got drafted. New quarterback in Austin Simmons, where I know he's highly intelligent. I mean, for those who don't know, he's just a really, really smart kid. He didn't take I forget it. It's not the Wonder Lick, but he did like really well on a test. Baseball kid that's, again, focusing on football now. But that's a game, again, week 3. I don't know if I can put it at number 1, Tommy. I don't know if I can do that just yet. But what would you put as like the number 1 most important game for this football team this fall? He said Auburn, and I don't blame him for picking that. We're sandwiched in between 3 straight home games.
I think winning at home is important. I think Auburn's up there. I think you've got to. I hate to say Arkansas State, but that's a game. If you don't play well and you don't win, could change the course of where you're at immediately. I think and I think Arkansas will win that game. I think they'll win it going away. I just think it's the first 3 games. I think it's being 3-0 gives you a chance to have the kind of year you expect to have, which is 6 or 7 wins. I don't see a path to getting to 7 or maybe even 6 unless you're 3-0. Am I right about that? And then you got to go to Ole Miss. I don't even know that's a toss-up game. It's probably like 70-30 Ole Miss, the favorite there. Then you got Notre Dame. I mean, so to me, how you
flip Memphis and Ole Miss,
or is it Memphis then Ole Miss then Memphis? So you got to be. Let me back up. 3-1. You got to be 3-1. So that to me is the key: is you win those 3 non-conference games early in the year, because if you're not 3-1 after 4 games, thank you for correcting me on that. Then I think you got big problems getting to 6 or 7.
And Memphis lost a lot from last year's team, but I also look at that game in the Liberty Bowl, and obviously the outcome the week before in Oxford, not too far, is going to have significance. But that is it's hard to fathom. It's hard to say, like, how could you say a non-conference game is the most important of any of the games this season? Well, in my opinion, I mean, you can't be 2-2 heading back to Fayetteville to take on Notre Dame, like kind of like you're alluding to. Like,
well, there's no path I see that. Because now your home field. There'll be a full house, I think, for Notre Dame, at least by the end of the first quarter, because it's Notre Dame.
Notre Dame will bring, like, if Arkansas fans don't fill it up, which I wouldn't expect them not to, but if they don't for some reason, Notre Dame will bring a ton of fans to that game. No doubt in my mind.
And they'll pay good, so there'll be some fans that want to sell their tickets so they can pay for their basketball tickets.
Yeah.
They'll sell their tickets on secondary market. But nonetheless, if you're 3-1 at that point, it's not that you go expecting them to beat Notre Dame, but you're hopeful that they can compete, that it can be a game into the fourth quarter. But is it the Alabama A&M game? I mean, they ought to win those first couple of games handily. If they don't, it's a sign of bigger issues, and we've seen that in recent years where they didn't win a non-con game. I don't like the Memphis game, like a lot of people. It's scheduling a tough spot there for Sam Pittman, but it is what it is. But you got to find a way to be 3-1 if you ever have a chance of being a 7-win team at the end of the regular season.
Speaking of issues, this 2026 class, while they do have 26 commits, another in-state player committed elsewhere. 24/7 Sports right now, the top 10 players, only 1 is currently committed to Arkansas. Another kid, Braxton Lindsey from Rogers, committed to BYU. Yesterday, held offers from Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. I do this almost begrudgingly. Like, I don't want to bring up mishaps or not mistakes or mishaps, but just like, this shouldn't be a thing. Like, you shouldn't have 90% or 80% of your top 10 kids in the state going elsewhere, or even the top 5, which you don't have a single guy committed. 4 of the top 5 are going elsewhere. It's not like Sam Pittman's going to sit me down and explain why, and maybe it's just as simple and chalked up as money. But I think if we look back at let's say the tenure it doesn't go how he wants it to. We're going to look back at some of these in-state misses and how they were not failures, but keys to why Arkansas wasn't. I don't understand why they can't keep the in-state kids outside of money.
You're not winning. I mean, it's that simple. It's not hard to understand. You're not a winning program. And I do think a lot of decisions are now transactional. It is money. Then you get a kid and he plays well, but you're not winning enough, and Ole Miss or Missouri or someone else comes along and offers enough money to move them. LSU's done that to Arkansas. Now, you've also flipped some guys your way.
It's like you always say, we can't be mad at losing in-state kids at the same time.
But we
get
are.
Hyped.
We're hypocrites. But the bottom line is you've got to keep the best kids in state if they're being plucked by other SEC teams or teams that are on your schedule. If they're kids that are leaving and going elsewhere outside of the SEC level, then I don't think you worry too much about it. You say, well, that was a good evaluation. So, at the end of the day, you live in a state with a smaller population. You don't live near major metropolitan areas like Dallas and Atlanta, aren't within 250 miles. I mean, Tulsa's as big as it gets outside of your state within a couple 100 miles. I guess you could maybe say Memphis in there as well, but Memphis is kind of in your state. I mean, and you compete a lot there. The bottom line is we're not located in an area with a huge population base. And now your competition for recruits in the state of Texas is throttled up even more because of Oklahoma and Texas now being in the league. A&M, we've seen the hit that took. Whether we like it or not, some of this is about geography and population base. And I don't know that anything that Sam Pittman or anyone else could do to fix those things.
Just by comparison, so I don't have the per capita of football players in Arkansas. At one time, I don't know if Louisiana still holds it true. Arkansas has now moved to the number one NBA players per capita in all of the United States.
Doesn't surprise me.
Basketball Reference and World Population Review had this. I was reading on Best of Arkansas Sports. They have 11 native NBA players. The population is just over 3.1 million. 3.54 players per million is what Arkansas is averaging, which passed Delaware as the number one, again, per capita state NBA players. 11 hail from Arkansas. Now, guys like Austin Reeves, help me on the Russellville kid, Colton. Traylon Peter. Obviously, they didn't go to Fayetteville, but they're from Arkansas. So that, again, I was reading.
Sometimes in basketball, we hadn't had room for all the best players in the state.
So that's just, we've talked about how basketball doesn't seem to be an issue when it comes to, obviously, Cal has the ability to go into New York and California, Texas, and various other states.
But say what you just repeat that fact one more time for us.
Arkansas is the number one per capita state producing NBA players in the entire country, according to Basketball Reference and World Population Review.
And that is why, that fact right there, is why Hunter Yurachek or whoever sits in the AD's chair moving forward, until that change, will never have a problem hiring a top-notch basketball coach.
11 native NBA players.
That's the number one thing. If you're having to search for a basketball, it makes you wonder why the women's program isn't better. Are you telling me there's not good female basketball players in this state? Of course there are. That's the other, I think, low-hanging fruit in our state. But that's a different conversation for a different day. But that's your number one calling card right there is, hey, Arkansas may not be the biggest state, but we produce basketball players. That's why we should always have a great basketball coach at Arkansas, because you got kids in state to recruit, and, oh, by the way, we're going to give you the money to go do what you need to do as well.
Yep, and you got two of them you're celebrating.
Extra pass, Jay Will. Throw, and he bottoms it.
About 2.5 weeks, July 24th, which is a Thursday, they're going to do a hometown celebration here in Fort Smith honoring Jalen Williams and Isaiah Joe. So that's kind of a cool thing to get that. 11 native NBA players from Arkansas. Pretty wild.
That's just current.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then you think about all the ones that, from Sidney Moncrief to Ron Brewer to Marvin Delf to all the great talents you had, along the way, going back 50 years, Corliss Williamson, obviously, is another one. So, I mean, Joe Klein's not from Arkansas, but played a long time and associated with our state, but we're not even talking about the players like Joe Klein, who is from Missouri. So, I mean, that right there should always give us hope. And really, at the end of the day, what's that prove? We're a basketball school. We're a basketball state. We want to be a football school. We want to be a football state.
Mm-hmm.
We're not. And the faster we embrace that and understand it.
But that at the same time, I don't disagree with what you said, but that doesn't excuse or just be okay with winning 6 games a year.
It doesn't mean you shouldn't try. You're exactly right, Ty.
It's like, so if they, for example,
but this idea you're going to be Alabama,
but I don't,
and you're going to win, 5 out of 10 SEC championships.
Who do you?
Not going to happen.
No, I agree, but who do you talk to that feels that way?
That
the
feels
fans,
what way?
The level of success. I don't talk to anyone like that. I talk to people. It's the same rhetoric over and over. It's around 8 wins a year. Every 4 or 5 years, compete for an SEC championship. It's repeated over and over.
So how do you win 5 SEC games every year?
I don't know if that's like logistically feasible, but it's not like this fan base is crying. There's an outcry for things you can't achieve. It's not.
No, I think if you could average 8 wins, people would be elated. 6 in a bad year,
They went 9-4
10 in a good year.
2021. It was like the best year ever. And you had the number 1 baseball team, and you had an Elite 8 basketball team. Hunter was basically the best AD of the year. And things have not fallen off, but they haven't been as successful in football since then. Like, that was awesome. You lost
why did that happen?
Bryce Young.
Why did that happen? Why did that football year happen? What was the biggest reason?
Traylon Burks.
There you go. And what's he do for a living?
Plays in the National Football League. Trying to get him on, too.
And where was he from?
Warren, Arkansas. Home of great football players and tomatoes.
I bought a box of Warren tomatoes last week. Working through those now. So, you like tomatoes?
I do like tomatoes.
I'll bring you one. Hey, summertime is here. Burton Pools and Spas clearance events going on right now. Get a Doughboy summer special on above ground pools of just over $1,700. Everything you need for summer's there. Above ground pools, semi in ground pools, all on sale right now. And right now, in ground pools, you buy now and you get a free heater with select in-ground pools at Burton Pools and Spas. So if you want to save, summer's the time to save on your new pool, above ground, semi-in-ground, or in-ground pools, all on sale at Burton Pools and Spas. They're in Fort Smith, they're in Springdale, Greenland, and now in Hot Springs, and online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, water for a better life.
All right, when we come back, we've got your SEC update, Phil Steele's thoughts on the Southeastern Conference, plus some other news on Vahiba Loy, Gage Wood, and Tommy's personal favorite, the preseason media poll, which apparently the SEC is doing. We'll get to that next.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Here's the final entry into the Final Four, the Arkansas Razorbacks.
This is the Morning Rush.
When you're craving serious burger goodness, head to Hardee's for the all-new barbecued pulled pork Frisco burger. A charbroiled, quarter-pound, 100% Angus beef patty, topped with 16 hours slow-smoked barbecued pulled pork on toasted sourdough. Only for a limited time at Hardee's. Get a free pulled pork Frisco burger when you download the app and join My Rewards. The app for terms.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV with hands-free driving assistance and go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $900 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Here's some exciting news for golf enthusiasts. The Golf Nut is thrilled to announce new arrivals for 2025, including Callaway Elite Woods and Irons, the new generation Pro V1 and Pro V1X golf balls, as well as a full range of lab putters, including the latest OZ model. Schedule a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators to elevate your game. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue and experience golfing greatness for over 30 years.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Storm season is here. Is your roof ready? Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has wrecked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They have the #1 certainteed roofing company in Arkansas. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight.
We're about the tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally climbed the hill. It's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Georgia last year took on a ridiculous schedule. They had to play Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas, all on the road. This year, they get all three of those teams at home. In fact, you look at Georgia's schedule, they're not going to be an underdog in a single game this year. Their three toughest opponents are all at home. I've got them picked to win the SEC. Texas does have to play Oklahoma away from home. They play Georgia, as mentioned, on the road. They play Ohio State on the road, so a tough schedule, but they may be the most talented team in the SEC. And then keep your eyes on Alabama this year. You know, Kalen DeBoer, year 2 at Washington, took a lesson less talented team than what he has here this year at Alabama, and took Washington to the national title game. I think if they get good quarterback play, I think Alabama's going to cause some problems for folks. And then, you look at the next tier. LSU is a team that's got a really good schedule, and they brought in a lot of transfers and have a veteran team. Oklahoma last year had no offense whatsoever. Much improved offensive line, much improved receiving core. I think John Mateer with the Washington State offense comes in. It blends with a top 5 defense that Oklahoma has and a good solid special teams. Plus, last year Oklahoma only had 3 home games. This year they only have 3 true road games. I think those 5 teams are probably your top teams in the SEC this year.
Phil was pretty high on Oklahoma. That's the voice of Phil Steele, who you probably read his magazine before. Phil Steele 2025 college football preview out now. And again, talking about the Sooners, he feels like that they have the most chance to improve. He mentioned John Mateer, who's the transfer from Washington State, and kind of what they have to do. There's 2 differences between Texas, or there are major differences, I should say, between what Texas was given in year 1 and what Oklahoma was given in year 1 in terms of scheduling. And Oklahoma, once again, has a tougher schedule. See how they navigate through it this year.
Yeah, and schedule's such a big part of this. We look at Mississippi State, we look at Auburn. Those are winnable home SEC games. And really, it comes back to beating the M schools when you play them all. Got a good chance to go to an okay bowl game, win your non-conference games at home, and at least it won't be a disaster, right? Because anything less than 6 is kind of on disaster, and anything 4 or less is a disaster. So, man, you just take care of those basics, and you get there. Schedule's such a big part of it. We have been in a cycle for so long where it's like every other year you have very winnable home games, and every other year your home games are tougher than your road games. We saw winning on the road last year. That's got to translate to some winning at home, and the people you're playing in front of home are the people paying the bills, so you need to win some games at home this year in front of those fans.
Yep, you beat Auburn on the road and Mississippi State on the road. Hopefully you'll pick off one of the premier teams that you play between Ole Miss, LSU, Texas, and also the Tennessee Volunteers. And I probably shouldn't use premier for all those schools. I think Texas and LSU, the back end of your schedule, that's as brutal of a 2-game stretch on your schedule, but Ole Miss and Tennessee have issues. Tennessee's got quarterback questions. Ole Miss has got a lot of depth that they lost from last season, so hopefully you can beat one of those teams. Tommy, I don't know if you saw the report. John Talty, CBS Sports, preseason poll is still happening in the SEC, so you get to vote on that. Your favorite time of year to be able to do that next week when we're in Atlanta for the college football.
You going to hold a gun to my head and make me? It's the most mean. The media never get it right.
Wally Haddon is, I think, 9 of the last 23 years is what they've gotten it right. So, they're shooting under 50%. They're not shooting.
You should say we.
We.
Yeah.
Well, I've only been there for 6 of them. So 6 or 7. So I can't.
I don't always vote.
I can't be held accountable for the previous 16.
Well, yeah, accountability, something your age, your generation doesn't like that word at all.
We push that
accountability
to the side. Other news in our SEC: Behiba Loy is projected right now to the Chicago Cubs. Gage Wood to the Atlanta Braves, according to a recent mock draft from MLB.com. 12 SEC players in the first 43 picks. We'll see if those guys end up going. And then last thing, quarterback season 2. Has started with Joe Burrow, former LSU quarterback, Jared Goff, former Cal quarterback, and Kirk Cousins of Michigan State. Mahomes, Mariota, and Cousins were a part of season 1 last year. Did you ever watch that? It's kind of like Full Swing.
Never could get completely into it. I watched a couple episodes. So, and Full Swing was one. As much as I love golf, I watched about half of the first season. I need to get back to that, but been binging other things here lately. So. All right, that's your SEC update brought to you by APAC and Standard Materials Group. If you're looking for a turnkey solution for your construction project, APAC and Standard Materials Group is Northwest Arkansas's #1 provider for aggregates, asphalt, and ready-mix concrete. And if you need more than just materials, APAC can help you with everything from surveying to engineering to construction to drone capabilities, trucking, and logistics. It's all with one call and all under one roof as well. 479-587-3300. That's 479-587-3300 for APAC and Standard Materials Group.
Long text from Troy and Harrison here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Tommy, you say we're not a football state. The pregame show for basketball and baseball is half an hour. The pregame show for football is 3 hours. There's a long postgame show for football that you don't necessarily have with basketball and baseball. We don't have nearly the publicity or interest for any other sport other than football. Just because we spend more time talking about basketball and baseball because we've had more success does not change that Arkansas traditionally and will always be a football-first state. You guys have a good, safe day.
All right. Thank you, Troy. Everything you said is factually right. I don't think that's how you determine whether or not we're a football or a basketball state. That determines who can sell the most ads. And football sells the most ads. That's what we're talking about there. Is there more interest? I think there's more interest in football. We've been programmed for that. I can tell you the things we put on our website and the podcasts we do that are more football-centric, football content heavy, always have better clicks and better metrics. I mean, there is a better interest, but the reality is the product that's produced in this state, the type of athlete that's produced in this state, we lead the nation now per capita in NBA players. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Make sure when you tell your buddies that you credit Basketball Reference and the world population. When you tell
that's too long. I'm gonna credit Ty Richardson said this morning,
or you can do that
on the Morning Rush
if you allow me.
And they'll say, "Well, it's got to be right then."
You got to look it up, and you can fact check me if you need so. But that was again pretty wild that per capita Arkansas now number one per capita in producing NBA players. Hopefully, there's a few of them on this upcoming basketball team, which we get a chance to take in tomorrow. Colton, what are you going to ask tomorrow when you watch these workouts? For those that don't know, media is being hosted by Cal and the team about an hour and a half or so, hour 15 to watch. There'll be a chance to talk with Cal and a couple of guys after. What are you going to ask tomorrow?
Me? Probably nothing. I'll probably let everybody else do the work for me, people that he knows will actually take questions from. But I think that I would be interested to hear, like I said, just about what his plans are for all these, European and international players, whether or not they're going to end up getting any run. Are they just going to be guys to fill up practice jerseys? Or is it like, what Tommy said earlier? Is there a 10th guy that can actually play, that knows he's the 10th guy and can add value to the team? So I'd be interested to kind of learn about that a little bit. And then obviously just, watch him practice to be fun.
I talked about the roster. I mean, there's some guys you obviously know with Billy Richmond, Trevor Brazil, Carter Knox, some guys that were on this team last year. But you got plenty of new faces and new guys that will get a chance. So we've seen, like Nick Pringle, for example, has been in Columbia, South Carolina, and Tuscaloosa, Alabama, but you'll get to see him in a Razorback uniform, kind of like a Due Theroux this past season. So it's definitely not out of the norm seeing guys play in the Southeastern Conference for not just one, but several teams in this league. And it's just happening now all over the place. There's plenty of new faces in college basketball in a nutshell, but yeah, getting a chance to see some of these guys tomorrow.
All right, that's where we stand this morning. It's 10:41. There's still rain coming down. I hear there's more heavy rain on the way for a big part of the listing area, so take your raincoat with you at lunch. I didn't pack mine this morning. I wish I had. The Fence Man, they're going to be busy. They like this rain, cools things down, makes easier days for them to get quality fencing up. If you need a security fence, the Fence Man can do that for you. 782-3936. It's really the number one thing that people call about anymore is better security for their home or business. Powered automatic gates, the walk-through gates with the combination codes. I had them put them on my gate where, someone was at my house this morning needing to take some measurements for some work being done, and I just gave them the code to get in the gate. Don't have to let them in, don't have to give them a key. And you know who's coming and going. So that's really a key thing. So if you want that with card readers or combos or whatever you want, the Fence Man can do that for your gates, fences, or build you brand new controlled access as well. 782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
I have some good news for everybody. Chuck E. Cheese. Did you ever go to Chuck E. Cheese as a kid?
Begged to go all the time.
Well,
didn't get to go very often. Took my kids more than I got to go. But, but they only had one in Fayetteville. We didn't have one all my childhood in Fort Smith.
Okay.
So when we go to Fayetteville, we'd beg to go there. And, of course, if Mom was there, we had a chance. If Dad was there, no go.
No go. Well,
no go.
Let's go back in time for a sec.
Chuck E. Cheese, Chuck E. Cheese, when you're hungry for fun, it's Chuck E. Cheese. Next door to see. When you're hungry for fun, it's Chuck E. Cheese. When you're hungry for the fun, it's Chuck E. Cheese.
You remember that rhyme or
I remember
the, back in the day?
Mechanical monk, whatever they were, gorillas.
Mouse.
whatever was up there.
Well,
remember that.
They're opening a adult-themed spinoff called Chuck's Arcade. It's going to have Donkey Kong, Mortal Kombat, some new games.
I thought this was called Dave and Buster's. I thought we already had this.
No, they're trying to, I guess, copy that model. There's going to be one in Tulsa. That's the closest. St. Louis, El Paso, Texas as well. But you can. There's been some issues for Chuck E. Cheese across the country, but they're trying to reinvent themselves for adults now. So you can go back to nostalgia, relive some of your.
What's
childhood.
your favorite game there at?
I'm
you got a bucket of tokens. You could play any game you wanted.
I'm really simple. I like the there's two. Skee ball, which is the most like, I mean, you find it at every arcade. And then there was a soccer one where you kicked it by a zebra. And I played that thing nonstop.
Man, I got in there one day when the kids were in the ball pit or whatever, and I got on that skee ball machine, and it's kind of like golf. There's just some days you get on a roll.
Locked in, yeah.
And I was hitting it, the little one up in the corner, the
10,000 points,
whatever it was.
points.
I was banging that thing and just had it dialed in. And we had a good day at the coupon counter that day. So skee ball would be my one.
Be an ambidextrous pop-a shot thrower, right hand, left hand, and just drain those suckers all day long and rack the tickets up is always my go-to arcade move.
And then get something that's not worth all the money you spent to get the tickets.
Yeah, stay out of the ball pit because that's just a germ fest in there. Just stay out of the ball pit altogether. All right, Gaston's White River Resort, that's the place to go. Summer fun is here, lake time, but river time also. Good thing about Gaston's, if you like the lake but you want to do some trout fishing, they are just, 2 miles below the Bull Shoals Dam, so easy access to the lakeside of all the fun on the water, but also right out the back door of your private cabin or lodge is the White River with the best trout fishing in North America. We are blessed in our state to have outstanding trout fishing, and Gaston's is in the prime spot. They got the expert guides to make sure you have a great day. So I was talking with someone yesterday that had only been a few times, but here's us talking about it on a daily basis, and they were going to call soon to make their reservation. It's so fun because you don't have to be an expert to enjoy trout fishing. Hell, we took Ty once. He caught like 10 in one day.
23 over 2 days.
And that's, most of you out there that could fog a mirror could catch 50 in a day. So, that tells you if Ty can do it, you can do it. 870
new slogan
431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Looking for a big new game to play? Well, there's no game bigger than the new dino-sized Jurassic World scratch-off games from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, which gives you a chance to win up to $200,000 instantly. And if that weren't enough, you can enter for a chance to win an exciting trip to beautiful Hawaii, where you could win up to $1 million. So get down to your local lottery retailer today, and welcome to Jurassic World. Must be 18 or older to play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Does that mean I'm an old fart?
This is the Morning Rush.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has raked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Avoid the door knockers and storm chasers. We are local and we will be here long after the storm chasers are gone.
Check out PatriotBrothersRoofing.com or call 479-652-9479.
Patriot Brothers Roofing, because because your home deserves only the best.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV with hands-free driving assistance and go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $900 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800 or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You could bet for Reeds.
The worldwide leader in sports.
It was her first ball game in my life, and we ended up on that field. We were in section 104.
Brother, you just turned the light bulb on. You got to go with somebody. At least I go with a winner.
Tommy, they're great.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft. Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
All right, welcome back into the Morning Rush. Go and get your phones primed and ready because we've got CJ's Trivia Tuesday coming up. A chance to win a $25 gift card to CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. We do it every single Tuesday, Tom.
Yep, and we'll be doing that in just a second. The Bet Saracen app is there for you. If you want to look at all the lines for the upcoming football season, we're looking at you can take 3+ wins, 4+ wins, 5+ wins.
That is unique.
Or exactly 5 wins. Hey, I'm convinced this team's only going to win 5, or they're definitely going to win 7. You can bet on that number. You can bet on 10 if you want, if you think that's where you want to go. So find it all, some unique stuff, exclusively at the Bet Saracen app.
Anybody interested in grabbing a couple of burgers?
Those are good burgers, brother.
Archer Burger. My God.
This is CJ's Trivia Tuesday, presented by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Fayetteville and Russellville.
I got the shakes that'll make you quit. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes. I got the burgers that'll... Just the burgers.
When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
All right, we're running short on time, so I will accept a text this morning for a $25 gift card to CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. This is pretty easy. When does Arkansas play Notre Dame? What week? 877-377.
Are you serious?
6963.
That's
When does
the
Arkansas
question?
play Notre Dame? Just
What?
text in what week it is. 877-377.
I'm embarrassed.
6963.
I am embarrassed. What's the school color?
We just occasionally.
What is the school color?
throw
We'll take that as an
we
answer.
throw softballs in there every
That's
once
not
in a while.
that's a beach ball.
Well, it's getting tossed right now. No one's answered it just yet.
Because they're laughing.
Well, they're trying to feverishly.
They're
text us.
laughing.
By the way, I have turned my speaking.
Was that your actual question, or is it because the clock is up? Please tell me you altered the question.
I had to change it because we have 15 seconds, so I have to get it in quick. Thank you, JT and Hot Springs. Week number 5 against Notre Dame. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, 2 locations, Russellville and Fayetteville. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best, and they are at CJ's. Halftime's next.
I apologize.
First checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service